Hey y'all, I'm Kay from Woke Remnant Gardening, and today I'm going to be winter sowing seeds for the very first time. Now normally we sow seeds inside and we're still going to do it, but our plan is to sow less seeds, and that's really for three main reasons. The first reason is space. We just don't have a lot of space inside our home. The second reason is hardening off plants. We live in apartments, but we garden over my mom's house. And unfortunately, our balcony just doesn't get a lot of sunlight. And then also the hassle of transporting all my little plant babies over my mom's house is just, I don't know, it's tedious. And then the third reason is fungus gnats. Oh my goodness, we had a fungus gnat issue last year that was just not fun to deal with. So the less plants we can have started on the inside, the better. Now you may be hearing a lot about the term winter sowing, especially if you're in the winter season right now. But if you're like me, when I first heard the term winter sowing, I was like, what is that? Well, winter sowing is a seed starting method where you sow your vegetable, your flower, and your herb seeds outside during the winter in containers like jugs, totes, and takeout containers. And it creates a little mini greenhouse effect. And the seeds sit there and they germinate when the time is right. So when the temperature is right outside and there's the appropriate amount of daylight, the seeds will germinate. There's many benefits to winter sowing, and I won't name them all, but I will mention the ones that got us to want to try this method, such as when you're starting the seeds outside, it frees up space inside your home. So that's a big bonus for us. And then it also saves time because you don't have to worry about watering and the light requirements. In other words, you don't have to give your plants a whole lot of attention because they're outside. It also saves money because you don't have to purchase things like heat mats and grow lights. And then there's the hardening off of plants. You don't have to do that because the seeds are already outside, used to the elements. One of the questions I had when I was learning about winter sowing was, what seeds can I sow outside? And there are some key words or phrases that you'll want to look for when you're reading the seed descriptions or you're looking at the back of the seed packs when you're deciding what you want to sow. And those words are cool season, cold tolerant, hardy annual, perennial, sow in autumn or fall, sow in early spring, and needs cold stratification. Now those key words are going to let you know that when the seeds sprout, they'll be able to take a light frost because they're cold tolerant. So let me tell y'all a little bit about cold stratification. Cold stratification involves exposing seeds to a period of cold temperatures. The cold temperature breaks down the seed coat and allows water to enter the seed, which begins the germination process. This stratification process can be done outside or in your refrigerator. Now with all that being said, let's get started. Now before we get started, we needed to gather the materials that we'll be using so we can winter sow. So first up, we have our containers that we saved for the last 2-3 months. And then we also hit up some family and friends. Thank y'all. Y'all know who y'all are. I appreciate it. We have a lot of seeds, y'all. Don't judge us. Thank you, family and friends. So actually what we're gonna do is get rid of these tops because we don't even need them, y'all. We need to let the air, the rain, and the snow, if we get any, into these containers. So containers, and we're using different kinds. This one is a milk jug, this one is an orange juice container. And so what you'll want to do is make sure that you clean out your containers before you winter sow. Please do that. We also have some scissors and a box cutter that we'll be using to actually make the cuts around the containers. Have a garden marker. Now this garden marker is supposed to withstand the elements of the rain, the snow, the UV rays. But just in case it don't, we have some plant labels, y'all. So these plant labels are gonna go inside the containers as backup because I need to know what we sowed, y'all. We also have our seeds. We have some gardens. This is not garden soil. Don't use garden soil, y'all. This is potting mix. Some people use seed starting mix, but we'll be using potting mix or potting soil mix. And we also have some tape. Now I have seen people use painter's tape, packing tape, But today we have some duct tape. Now this duct tape is going to be used so when we make the cuts around the jugs or the other container, what we'll do is we'll close it up with this duct tape to make sure that it's good and sealed off. In order to make the hinge, what we're going to do is make a cut an inch below the handle. So we've went ahead and marked that out, and we're going to make a cut on either side all the way around, but not through, because what we want to do is have this container, the top of the container, open up and actually hinge. So again, we're going to make a cut starting on either side all the way around, but not through. So this will leave about 3 inches of room for soil. And what we're also going to do is make holes in the bottom of the container so that the water or the snow that gets in will actually drain out. We're going to be using the drill to make the holes. Now this part right here, we don't want in here because it can interfere with drainage. So we're going to take these scissors and clip them off. All right, y'all, we bought this clear container so that we can sow some seeds in this right here. Just a seed tray. It already has the holes in it and some 6-cell seed starting trays. And so what we're gonna do is put some holes in the bottom of the tote down here and in the top of the tote as well, so that rain and snow and whatnot can get in and actually help to water the seeds, the plants. It's probably about all the hose we need. We still gonna use it. We are, y'all, it's okay. We struggled, but we got through it, y'all. And here is the finished product. It's the next day, y'all. As you can tell by the clothes that I'm wearing, it was getting dark on us. So right now what we're gonna do is show y'all how we cut these containers.
Okay guys, so we are going to cut down, use this box cutter. And again, an inch below the handle, we're gonna leave this space uncut and then cut all the way around the perimeter. Again, leaving this space uncut. So I'm just gonna cut in here gently. And it's not gonna be perfect, y'all. I tried, I did a few already, and we're not gonna speak about it. So just cut around it. And the box cutter makes it much easier than scissors. Stopping at this part right here. And this is how you have a hinge effect. So the inside with the 2 holes are there. We cut out the plastic so that it wouldn't impede or interfere with the soil drainage, or the water drainage rather. And we have our hinge. And we're gonna do that to the rest of our containers. Now these clear bottles, like the lemonade bottles, they are a little sturdier than the milk jugs. And so they're a little bit of a thicker plastic, and it may be a little more difficult to cut through them. So kind of have to take it a little slower when you cut through it. But these bottles are a little better, as we mentioned before, possibly a little bit better because they are more translucent than the milk jugs. And when you want it to be translucent so that it can allow more light to pass through and germinate your seedlings, especially those that are dependent on light in order to germinate. The thing about these jugs is they don't have handles, so you have to leave a marking or something so that you know a space to not cut through. So I used a marker here, and I put like a cross in this section so I know not to cut through this part. And then I cut across the rest of it, and now I have that hinge effect. And it snaps back, unlike the milk jugs, because it is thicker, a thicker plastic, more durable, more hardy. But this is how you can use these in containers. If you don't have milk jugs, but you have these, they will still work. Just again, make sure to put some holes on the bottom so that it can drain properly. And we're gonna go on to the next ones.
Okay, here we are back again on day number 3. It's cold out here. Started raining yesterday, so we didn't get a chance to finish winter sowing. But you know what, y'all? In life, there will be curveballs. But you know what? You have to pivot and readjust, which is exactly what we're doing. So what I'm about to do is put a little bit of these worm castings in the potting mix just for a little bit of nutrition, and gonna mix this in real good. So cold out here, y'all, okay? My words jumbling up and everything, but I am determined, we are determined to get this winter sowing completed. 3 days, y'all? We're gonna get this done. Right, gonna put some in here, this container, so that we can start filling up our containers. And I will be wetting this so that the soil, the potting mix, is moist. All right. I want it wet, but not soaking wet. What I'm about to do is put this potting mix in the container till about an inch below the bottom portion, so that the soil, the potting mix, doesn't overflow. And I'm gonna tamp it down so that the seeds have a good solid base. Going to fill up this other container that we have right here. Doing the same thing, about an inch below the top, and tamping the potting mix down. Right? I'm gonna get these seeds in here. All right, so we are sowing some cool season crops. We have some leafy greens and some other things like that. And then we're also winter sowing some medicinal herbs. So the cool season crops, the vegetables, what we're going to do is sow them in the containers that actually have handles, because we want a lot of them. And the medicinal herbs, we're sowing those in these types of containers because we really don't need as many of those. So we're going to start with these 7 top turnips because that's what my mom likes. She likes a lot of them, and this is her yard. So that's what we're going to do. Now these right here has a sowing depth of about 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to just sprinkle these around and lightly cover them. I'm going thick, y'all. Real thick. Because my mama said, don't go easy. She want a lot. And so I'm growing the 7 top turnips because we don't eat the turnip. We eat the leaves. All right, and what I'm going to do is lightly cover these seeds. Tamp it down so it makes contact with the soil. It's going to mist them. Probably need to turn it on first. Well, I'm trying to mist it. Well, y'all get the idea. So, the next thing we're going to do, we put the name on the outside of the container, but I'm also going to put this plant label in here as well. Gonna do is move on to the medicinal herb. Now this is Angelica, and this seed calls for cold stratification for 30 days. And so this is a really good candidate for winter sowing. And this needs light to germinate. So I'm just gonna right on the surface. Probably gonna put a little bit more in here, y'all. That's okay. Changed my mind. Well, I think Kira changed it for me. It said lightly cover with vermiculite, but we don't have none, so that's what we're gonna do. Try to spread it around a little bit. Name is also on the outside, and this plant label is going inside. Curveball, y'all, so I'm improvising. Remember when I told y'all life throw curveballs? Yep, pivot. All right, y'all, the last thing we need to do is seal this up with duct tape, and then we'll be good to go. Help! Oh my goodness! Kira. Woo! Okay. What in the world? Uh-oh. Think I'm getting the hang of it. Yeah. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and winter sow the rest of the seeds. All right, y'all, we have finally finished our winter sowing project. Woo!
Finally.
Because that was a lot. We have 25 containers here. We have 15 milk jugs that's full of vegetables like collards and turnips and beets. And then we have the clear containers back here that we have our medicinal herbs in.
We also have this tote that y'all saw us drill some holes in. And this has some lettuce in there, different types of lettuce, and then some Asian greens like tatsoi, pak choi, and some other types of greens in there. And I will say that it was much easier for us to work with the clear containers because they're much more durable than the milk cartons, which were very flimsy material, especially when you're wrapping the tape around them. So definitely recommend using those clear containers if you are winter sowing in the future. And then also make sure you use quality tape.
Please use some quality tape, y'all.
That was that would have made a difference.
Yep.
So, but those are the only things. We really hope that we get some great germination from this method, and we will be sure to show y'all some updates as these sprout up throughout the season and grow up. But we hope y'all enjoyed this video.
Let us know about your winter sowing experience.
Yes. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe.
And remember, y'all, plant to live.
And very quickly, make sure that y'all let us know if this video was helpful for y'all or what your experience was with winter sowing. And then if y'all have any tips for us or anyone else who are going to begin winter sowing. And then, of course, again, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see y'all next time.
See you next time.